So a lot of people clown the stock sounds in FL Studio, but what if I showed you guys that the stock sounds can actually sound extremely pro? In this video, I'm going to show you how to take simple sounds. Like for example, if you click the channel rack button right here, click this plus button, we're going to go to what's called poison. Now poison, you might hit the keys and think that this is just some random arpeggio thing. But if you guys go to preset and go to default, this thing is extremely powerful. Let's create like a YEAT style melody, for example. Let's go to the channel rack, which is right here. Open up Poison. We're going to hit Control L so we can send it to the mixer. Next, we're going to turn the metronome on so we can keep track of time. We're at 140 BPM to start off. Let's right click. Let's go to piano roll. And what we're going to do is use what's called chordal harmony. Yes, music theory. Okay, let's change the snap to grid to 1/2 beat. There is music theory in YEAT beats, by the way. Okay, especially if Benny X is producing it. He knows his stuff. So we're going to highlight this note and we're going to count up 5 notes because that creates what's called the perfect fourth. So this is 0 in this case, the point of rest, and we're going to count up 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives us A. We're going to copy this note and pull it down an octave. So to copy a note, you hit Control to highlight, hit Shift, left click to copy, and then hit Control down to pull it down an octave. And now we have this Rage-esque. All we have to do from here is change the length, hit the notes, hit Control, highlight the notes, hit Shift, duplicate it over. And we're going to give it what's called a trecio pattern. So trecio, trecio, or just spread out. So it's trecio. It's basically slow trecio. All right, we're going to copy this note again. And the top note here, we're just going to use our ear. Funny enough, we're going up another fourth. So we're going to take that top note, count up 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's where we land. So chordal harmony is very powerful. It's jazz theory, and this is what creates the YEAT sound, by the way. So again, to create that chordal harmony, you're going to take the root note, count up 5 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to take the top note and we count up 5 more notes to end up at the last note there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. So it's all chordal harmony here. I'm going to show you guys a couple more advanced things. Now we're not done yet. That's just the basics of basics. We're going to go back to Poison and let's start structuring sounds. I like to build the music theory first and then go back to the sound. So let's up what's called the unison here to make it more aggressive. Now the detune lower means you're going to get more of a metallic sound. The detune higher, you're going to get more of a racy, drony sound. Let's up this to 8 unison. Now it's going to get very loud, so let's pull back the gain here. Okay, so what we can do is a couple things. We could either add rhythm with the trance gate, or we can mess with the filter, or we can even mess with the arpeggio, but we're not going to do too much to the sound. I want to show you guys another advanced FL Studio technique which only works with image line plugins. So all that being said, we're going to take the top note here and we're going to count down 7 notes from the top note. So I'm going to take this D and then duplicate it, hit Shift, count down 7 notes, hit Shift down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to double click on this note and make it a slide note. Now, I'm going to show you guys a more advanced technique that Synth showed us, but until then, let's just hear what this sounds like. So now the whole thing goes, ew. Okay, so everything pitch bends to G. But let's say you didn't want everything to pitch bend, you just want the top note. We could double click the top note and change what's called the MIDI channel by changing what's called the color. But technically, this is a whole different MIDI channel for those who understand. So we're going to go to number 5 in this case, and then double click on the slide note, make this the same exact color. So now only that top note goes down. So I kind of like everything bending. So in this case, it does work when everything pitch bends, but it's case by case. So let's say you want to add some melodic flavor to it. So let's double click this note and make it a different MIDI channel. And I want to go da, da, da. Okay, so I just want to add these little melodic notes. And we're going to double click these notes and again, make it the same MIDI channel. Now, what we can do here is a couple things. We can do note slide, which means it will slide from this pitch to this pitch, or we can do what's called portamento. So portamento is more of a slower glide, but we can play both notes at the same time instead of just one at a time. So let's do that for each one. Let's make this a portamento. Now you really can't hear it because it's not much to glide. but it goes wah, wah, wah. And I think we can adjust this value. If you go back to the channel rack here, click on Poison and click your settings icon, your gear icon, go to the wrench tool, and you can mess with the portamento speed here. I think this overrides it, but I'm not quite sure if that overrides it or not. But now it goes, you can really hear it, but at low slide, you don't hear it as much. So I'm pretty sure this dictates that. Now you can really hear it if you turn the slide up. It goes like that. So let's copy this over. So I'm showing you guys how to take one instrument and really pull the most out of it. So let's do a more advanced technique. Let's grab the slice tool. We're gonna slice this last note in half, and then we're gonna hit Alt. You gotta learn this from Chop Squad DJ. We're gonna create what's called a time multiplier or a chopping. And basically it's gonna be a stutter. So it goes da-da-da-da, like that. Now we can barely hear it because it's not that loud, but it's just something to mess with. And we're gonna get rid of that slide note. So it goes da-da-da. Now you can again barely hear it. What we could do is slide, or excuse me, chop all of the notes so it sounds more like everything is stuttering. Now would I do this on a piano roll level? Probably not, but I'm just showing you guys little techniques. Now let's add more layers to the sound. I'm going to go back to the front panel of this plugin here, and let's mess with the transgate. This transgate is super slept on for rhythm. It just adds a little more motion to your track, and you can adjust the sequence. Let's try one last thing. Now this might be too much, but let's at least try it. Let's add the arpeggio. Now if you're really fancy with sound design, you can mess with the filter. And let's give this filter an envelope. So now it's a whole different beast. And we could always take off the arpeggio. Kind of like both. So I like this. So I'll clone this because I like both of the tones. We're going to copy the same exact notes, hit Control C, hit Control V. And we're going to go back and basically I'm just going to undo the filter and the arpeggio. And now this is a lot of movement here. So I would probably actually use one at a time here instead of using both at the same time. Let's go back to song mode. So I basically just widened out the sound with the unison pan and detuned it just a little bit more to make it a little more lush sounding. Now let's take Poison one more time. I'm just showing you guys, stock plugins here. We're going to copy the same exact chords that I showed you guys how to build. Let's go to pattern 3, paste this into the new Poison, hit Control L to send that to the mixer. And what we will do here is simply extract the bass notes. So let's double click inside the piano roll. Let's highlight every note except that most bottom note, or the lowest note, and let's combine these notes hitting Control G so that they combine. All right, so we have to go back to Poison. Let's go to preset, go to default. Now we're gonna go to, we're gonna go to Poison and we're gonna go to where it says transpose and read the values in the top left where it says the hit panel and just pull this down -12 or -24. don't know why this sounds out of key. Let me make sure this is... Okay, I must have hit something. There we go. So let's add a couple of effects here. I'm trying not to get too deep into sound design here, but let's add OTT to the pad. Let's add some unison to the bass. Actually, I don't think we need unison on the bass, but we do need portamento on the bass. So let's go to the settings and let's turn on portamento mode with the glide all the way. Well, not all the way up, halfway up. So OTT is a little smacky for the sound. Everything's trying to be loud, so we gotta... And here's where we get into mixing and everything. This is too low of an octave, but it's worth a try. And we can always filter. An envelope. Now we got that Benny X type sound. Let's see if we can get one octave lower. So I guess it's too low. So see how powerful Poison is? And this is just two sounds. Let me take off OTT. It's just a little too smacky for this. But I think the first sound's a little too heavy. So I'm making small adjustments. You guys don't have to copy every single move I'm making. I'm just showing you guys how powerful this stuff is. I'm looking for doom. Yeah, so I guess that first sound does kind of need OT for that smacky. So let me show you guys another trick here. Let's print the MIDI to audio. Let's right click, consolidate from track start. And let's just keep the insert effects on if you have any. And what we're going to do is double click on the audio, go to mode, stretch mode, and then switch it back to resample mode. So if you ever change the tempo, it will change the tuning of that specific audio. And the reason I'm doing this is so we can automate the pitch. So we're going to go to the audio file, just double click. We're going to go to range 12, and then we're going to use this. And basically we can record with our controller. Actually, I forgot. Because we gave it a time value, we have to undo that. Okay, so let's keep it on stretch mode so that it keeps the same. So I'm going to pitch it up. So let's record this. I'm going to do it by hand. All right, so now we have that recorded. Let's start arranging this so that it's not just the same thing over and over and over again. Now the timing could have been better. Technically we can, let's just get rid of that. And let's program it by the other way. So here's another way to do it. We could double click. We can go to the pitch knob, right click, create an automation clip. And then we can basically just right click, copy that initial value, go to the beat, and then we can do it this way. So let's say I want to pitch bend right here. I could just pitch bend it up all the way. Now I'd recommend when you guys pitch bend that you do a linear way of doing it like this. So it's not so jarring. And the good thing is we only have to do this once. So let's just add this in, right click. That way you know exactly when the pitch bend will happen instead of your pitch wheel. All right, so what we could do is chop that using the chop tool and then hit Control B to latch paste that all the way through. I feel like the audio is like a little off. So I'm gonna grab this slip tool, hit Alt and left click, pull it to the left a little bit. Now sound design. So it shows you guys how much dope sound you can create. Let me show you guys one last thing. Let's take the initial, and you guys will get the project files for free if I'm ever moving too fast. Let's go to a blank pattern. Let's open up Poison one more time. Let's paste that value. We're going to change the preset here to default. Hit Control V, hit Control L, send it to the mixer. We're also going to send the audio to the mixer, hit Control L. But on this sound here, we're going to go to the arpeggio. Actually, let me see if we could do this from the wrench tool. So I like to go to the cog icon, go to the wrench tool, go to the up arpeggio and go to range 1. It just adds a rhythm that and we can mess with the range to add more octaves. So let's just see which one fits the best. I'm going to open up, I guess, never mind. Let's keep that as audio. Now on this sound, I kind of want more of a chorusy tone. I would mix this a lot more, but we don't have all the time in the world here. Let's add a hyper chorus. And then we want the modulation. So see, this is a little too much movement here. So now let's just start shaping the Poison. Now here, this does require sound design skills here, but we could throw that transgate on for like a final timing groove. So again, it's too many rhythms to stack it with the initial. That sound is just too many things going on. adding some Fruity Blood Overdrive to widen this, to add more harmonics. So we can spend more time with this, but I just wanted to show you guys how to get started with, the stock sounds in FL. You can do a lot with just the one. So if you guys want these project files, let's go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. Peace out, guys.